How's it going, everybody? Today, we're here with a Charlie video. He made one on solo leveling, so we're going to listen and see what he has to say about it. I'm assuming it's good because it says solo leveling is a must-watch, so we got to hear him out.
I love you.
I love you
ever
too,
heard
Charlie.
those words before? Well, you
Damn.
have now.
Well, you
You
have
know what
that?
else I love?
What?
Solo leveling.
You do?
I think it is a must-watch show.
Uh-huh.
It's a little something called anime. Might have heard of it
Oh,
before.
is it?
Solo leveling has really blown up with the success of season 2. It has exploded in popularity. It's broken a bunch
has.
of records, and not to put the pinky out and the fedora on, but I liked it a lot during season 1 too, and I was preaching the good word even back then.
Okay.
I know it's a little hipster thing to say,
So Charlie's been a fan. All right.
but yeah, I was sucking its dick before it was
I
cool.
was sucking
Though
his dick.
I
but-
haven't read the manhwa that it's based on, so I'm not like a primordial meat swallower of solo
I ain't either.
leveling, but I was an early adopter. But now everyone's throwing it in a big way because the show is extraordinary. It is a really, really good show.
It is.
It's a very straightforward show with a
Dude,
simple
I don't know what happened. Like, season 1, I liked it. It was good, but then season 2 just hit and boom, it just like went.
premise we've seen hundreds of times
Crazy.
before. It's not trying to reinvent spaghetti and meatballs here. It's
Yeah.
perfectly content doing it very well.
Yep.
So it's basically a world where humans have awakened magical power, and these gates are starting to appear, which act like dungeons.
Like, the story's not too complicated to understand, right? It's easy to understand what's going on. The power system, like I said, it's easy. You know what to expect.
In video games, if any
It
of
doesn't
you are
need
gamers out there.
A big, crazy story to
And
be good.
the humans that have these powers become hunters more often than not, and they are ranked from E to S. E
Yep.
being dog shit tier, absolutely
Dog shit.
useless, bottom of the barrel, to S being the creme de la creme, the
Yep.
best the
Greatest of
society
all
has
time.
to offer. So these hunters will take these missions from their guilds, or sometimes not even with guild work, and go to the gates, defeat the boss to close the gate. The hunters protect the rest of humanity by closing these gates, so that way the magic beasts don't come in and fuck
That
us
sums
all
it
in
up
the
pretty
face.
good, actually.
And that's kind of the whole idea of the world in a nutshell, and we follow the weakest hunter of them all, Sung Jin Woo. Now, real quick before I dive
World's
into what makes
weakest hunter.
the show super special and extremely good, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video. Big thanks to
Sponsor.
DC Dark
Uh-oh.
Legion for sponsoring this video. DC Dark Legion is a new official DC game. It's available through the iOS and Google Play
Dude, I've been seeing ads for this, like, on YouTube and shit, and it honestly just looks like...
Store, so available
I don't know,
on
it looks
mobile
like-
and PC.
Okay, I
It's
was
a pretty
wrong.
simple game, making it optimal for pickup and
I was gonna
play,
say, like,
so you
that
can
little
enjoy it
intro right there
anytime,
reminded me of Marvel
anywhere,
Rivals.
with a beautiful UI and a really fun gameplay loop that's a strategy
It's a
game
mobile game,
and
I guess.
simulator. Where you're going to be collecting and building out your DC champions, making them bigger and better, customizing your bat caves, saving
I'm not
civilians
skipping that
and building
either. You guys
shelters,
can skip it if you want.
and you can fight alongside with and battle others in a PvP game mode as well. With a high
Always,
quality
if you're
comic
gonna
book art style and
react
an
to
authentic
somebody's
DC
content
experience with a
and
story
post it on
that'll
your
have
channel,
going
you at
through
least gotta
iconic
include their ad.
locations in the DC
Like,
universe,
you
as
just gotta.
well as having iconic beloved DC characters in it. It's a game that's filled to the brim with content. It's free to play. Almost all champions
play.
released at launch can be unlocked for free within 1 month of play, and you can collect over 350 bleed draws to unlock almost all champions. You can
Okay.
use my gift code DCDL999 to get plenty of resources
999.
and 3 hero pulls called World Anvil Fragment. It's available now. Big thanks again to DC Dark Legion for sponsoring. So Sung Jin Woo is an E-rank
Who is Jin Woo?
hunter who is
Tell me, Charlie.
absolute trash. He can't fight
Oh,
shit,
shit.
and he is useless to pretty much every party he's on. He is a knuckle sandwich magnet. The magic beasts treat him just like this fucking meat punching bag for them to dominate.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he is well known as the weakest hunter in this world. But even though he still gets walloped by anything with a pulse,
It's bad.
he continues to go on these dangerous missions through these gates as an E-rank hunter, getting his clock clean time and time again for the singular purpose of trying to make money through being a hunter to hopefully at some point save his mother from an incurable disease. When-
Also, question, kinda. I don't want it answered like Foley. I just want a yes or no answer. So, do we ever find out what happened? Like, if Jinwoo actually died that day, or like, what happened there? Do we ever find that out?
one of his missions goes awry and everyone in his party starts to be slaughtered from a gate that turned into something a little bit more, Sung Jin Woo is facing death directly. and he is lamenting how all of it is playing out. He is sacrificing himself to save others, and it just
Well, I would say it's more of him being sacrificed because them motherfuckers just decided to dip on him.
feels so unfair. And right before he's about to perish, at the last second before his death, he was chosen by the system to be its player, which gives him an
I coulda
ability
sworn
no other hunters that we know of have.
I could have sworn it showed him getting chopped in half. I might be tripping.
Ability to level up. So he can level up his strength and everything like that, just like a video game. And now, Sung Jin Woo has unlimited potential through his ability to level up. And he also gets quests, he gets items, he gets summons. And we get to watch him go from the weakest hunter in the world to the strongest hunter the universe has to offer, at least that we've seen so far. As I said earlier, it's not a unique concept. This is a premise I've seen explored before in other shows as well. But Solo
I don't
Leveling
know.
does it.
You do see the level up system quite a bit, but I think the way Solo Leveling did it is just the best.
Very well, and it's also beautifully animated. The big thing that has blown Solo Leveling up
Somebody
is its
using a fucking chainsaw outside? What the?
action.
Okay, anyways.
The animation for all of its action, and there is a lot of action, is just to a top-notch degree that people are loving it. And it helps that it is well written.
Yeah.
Like, it is a good story.
I enjoy
it. Isn't, like, always just right in your face. Everything's just like, put the square in the square hole. There are a lot of twists and moving parts to the narrative itself. But that's not, I would argue, that's not like the bread and butter of the show. The big thing that people love is Sung Jin Woo and his aura farming, as they call it. But just the way that he is able to fight and the way he's able to get stronger. And we get to watch him fight stronger and stronger enemies as he comes up with creative solutions to the combat. He gets so many items, so many abilities, and so many summons at his disposal that it makes every fight feel super fucking fresh and really cool. And the animation is breathtaking.
Bro, one thing I really like about Solo Leveling's animations is, like, the background, it's not CGI. Like, it's actually drawn out. I like that.
I would say this is up there with, like, Jujutsu Kaisen level animation. Like, their fights, I think, are so good. It also has
the fights are just so enjoyable
slapper of a
overall.
soundtrack. So during some of the fights, you'll hear the OST kick in, and it just elevates it to such a hype level.
The OSTs
now, while
are
I
cracked.
think Solo Leveling is a must-watch, I don't think it's a perfect show. I think there's quite a few valid complaints, especially when it comes to Season 1. So, Danny has been watching Solo Leveling
I don't know.
since...
Honestly, you probably could, like, show Solo Leveling to, like, your fucking dad, and he would probably like it.
This hype around it. He wanted to get in and see if it's as good as it is, as people lead him to believe it is. So he just started it recently, and he's really liking it. But he had some, like, really valid complaints that I also said about Season 1 in particular, where there's not really any characters outside of Sung Jin Woo.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's some other people that are introduced, but they're never really fleshed out. They're kind of just there in the background, just kind of idly doing shit, while Sung Jin Woo is going through all of these gates and his own quests by himself. I mean, as the name would imply, solo leveling. But that kind of makes it so you never really get to care about anyone besides Jinwoo, because you just don't really get to know anyone besides him. Which for some people, they're not going to give a fuck, but I do think it is a valid thing to say. Felt a little underwhelming that you only have one character that you ever really care about. And that...
The way I look at it is, the reason we didn't really get introduced to more characters early on is because, like, Jinwoo's the weakest, right? Not many people want to interact with an E rank, right? So they're kind of just shoving him away. But now that he's getting stronger, he's getting introduced to these other guilds and stuff, so now he's meeting more people.
That also every fight Jinwoo gets in usually wraps up in like 1 or maybe 1.5 episodes. Throughout all of Solo Leveling, we're watching him become just fucking busted strong. Like, he is overpowering everyone pretty easily most of the time. There are a lot of times, mainly in Season 1, where it is like life and death. He gets very close. And
pretty much like the first couple episodes, probably like first 5 or so episodes, he does struggle quite a bit.
Squeaks it out.
Not quite a bit,
for the most
you know
part,
what I mean.
He is dog walking them. He is absolutely eating their lunch. He comes through, he's got, hands by his side, cool, calm, collected, and he just fucks them.
fucks
And it's very hype. It's
over
very
the
cool.
table.
But I do think it could be kind of lackluster for people where you build up to this really strong boss fight that ends in like 5 or 6 minutes because Jinwoo just slaps them around. It feels like, okay, he's like One Punch Man almost at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
I can see why that could be not as satisfying to watch for some people, but for me, and I guess tons of other people, it is. Because the fights are still really beautiful. Jinwoo, I still think, is a really strong character, not just like in terms of his actual power, but like I actually think he is just a compelling character to watch and root for.
Also, another question. I heard Jinwoo fighting the Ant King in the manhwa was like really different, and Jinwoo actually like was actually struggling against him.
But it is fair to say that if he's never
Is that true?
challenged, it would get stale. Because you want to see him actually have to try and struggle against a really strong enemy where he finally overcomes it. You know, that's part of the hero's journey. And we do still get that. But I
Yeah.
definitely recognize that in Season 2, we're mainly just watching him go ballistic and never really
I'm fine with that,
getting
though.
into a situation where I felt like, oh, he might lose, or he's going to have to really squeak some miracle out here to win this. It always felt like Jinwoo was firmly in control during all of it, even the strongest final fight. Now, in Season 2, we do get to learn about a few more characters to actually
Yeah.
give a fuck about, which I think is very nice. So in Season 1, it's pretty much only Jinwoo that anyone
Yeah.
is going to care about. But Season 2, we get a lot more characters coming into the fold because now he is an S rank and everyone knows now. Everyone in the world knows he's an S rank, so now we get to meet the other S ranks, and some of them get a little bit of depth added to them, which I think is good because there should be more characters that you give
There
a
should
fuck
be.
about other than Jinwoo. Even though I think Jinwoo is always going to be the biggest draw in Solo Leveling because he's the most interesting and most hype character the show has.
Yeah,
So
I think besides Jinwoo's like probably the only character like I really care about. Like, yeah, the others are cool, and I'm intrigued by them, I guess. But there's not really any other characters I'm like, oh, I'm in love with this character. Yeah, they're so good. And it's just kind of, they're there
so far.
type of thing.
But it is nice that now there are some other characters that we get to learn about in Season 2 that I think people would like to see stick around and not get, eviscerated. Anyway, though, I'll stop yapping about it. I think
That
Solo
was the
Leveling is a
fastest
must-watch,
10 minutes
especially
ever.
for anyone that likes, over-the-top anime action. It's a beautifully animated show and just a great time.
All right, well, I agree with pretty much everything Charlie says here. It's a pretty good show. You should definitely watch it if you haven't. But that was Solo Leveling is a must-watch by Penguin Zero. Go check it out. Go check him out. Let me know what you thought of it. And, of course, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a good day.